All right, y'all, I messed up a little bit, but we shall continue. Like I said, when the young lady was talking about going into, boycotting the economy, like I said before, at Goldie Williams TikTok, you can check it out there. And she was talking about, boycotting the economy and to get what we need and what we want. And she said one thing on that, y'all. Now, when you go to check it out, I want you to go to check it out and, tell me what you think and, or, say what your ideas are on the situation. But she said, we can go to church. No, you don't understand. You do not do that. Do not go to church. When you go to church, when you pay your tithes and your offerings, they pay taxes on that. I said this before, y'all. When you talk about the church, you have to understand that the church and the government are now one. That's why when you give your money all year long, you get that money back because of tax exemption. Okay? And they don't give you anything for free. So when you 501c3, that's a whole different conversation. But when you boycott, do not go to the church. Do you understand? Now, that's up for discussion, if anybody ever wants to talk about that or anything of that nature, so you can get a better understanding. I would love to discuss that because you have to understand that, like I said before, when we talk about mental health, I always talk about the church. We don't understand, a lot of the, propaganda and the things that the church does to keep us dormant, to make sure that we don't, do things that we're supposed to do to get what we need from these crooks. Now, I'm going to move on from there, but please check that video out at Goldie Williams on TikTok talking about the government. Talking about boycotting the government. There's another video I need y'all to check out, y'all. It's Nick Cannon's masterclass featuring Professor Griff. Now, you will see on it will say banned. Another group has put it out because they banned it. They took it down because of the truth. I want y'all to check that out. By all means, please check that out. And it's about an hour and something long, so make sure that you take your time, because what it will do is, I was talking to my son a little bit ago, and I said, you're going to stick your chest out and say, boy, I'm one bad individual. I am the bomb. I am what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know that because, see, we don't hear this. The only thing with us is that, they say we're always complaining. Why won't we shut up? Why won't we just accept what's happening? Once you hear this video, you will understand why. You understand what I'm saying? You will understand why we don't just roll over and act like we don't know what's going on. Now, Goldie said something that she touched on something on that. She was talking about they need people to work. Now, I know everybody, seeing, the this Roe versus Wade situation as not having the right to your body, which is true. But like Japan, and nobody is looking at it this way, like Japan, they need workers. So guess what? They need you to stop killing the babies because they need people to work. If you've seen what's going on everywhere, there's a shortage everywhere. Why? Because people don't want to work in restaurants anymore. Why is the airports, nobody wants to deal with that stress? Why is there such a shortage? There's a shortage because they want to do something else, and they're not doing physical labor anymore. So guess what? You're not going to give us labor. We're going to get your children. You're going to have these children, and that's where our labor is going to come from. Never looked at it that way. They need these children so they can get this labor. That's why they stopping abortions. They're not worried about your happiness. They need people to work because they're short everywhere. You go to a restaurant, they're short. Airport, they're short. Supermarket, they're short. Almost everywhere you going, they're short staffed. Why? Because people are either going back to school, getting tech jobs, so they're not wearing their bodies out. You understand what I'm saying? Or going into these unhealthy places to get killed. So guess what they got to do? They're going to make you have these babies. And guess what? Now they got somebody to come in and do the work. See, I noticed it when they started talking about the young kids wasn't going to getting summer jobs no more. The young kids were like, they giving me so much homework, man, I don't have time. I'm trying to recover from all these months of all this thinking and classwork and homework. I don't have time to be going, trying to get no summer job or anything like that. Y'all remember that? I think that was 2020 and 2021. Kids was like, nah, no. So there's a dynamic, because remember she said it was capitalism. It's capitalism. So what she's saying is, now I don't understand that capitalism stuff. All I know is that it doesn't work for us. Because, you got socialism, capitalism, and all this other stuff. I'm not in school right now. I would ask my daughter to explain stuff like that because she that's her thing. She does that. She's like her dad. She likes history. And I need y'all to really get a hold of, it's more than just your bodies and your rights. They are doing this to get laborers. They're doing this like Japan told the people, because remember, I think it's Japan and Korea. I know Japan, when I saw it on the news, with Japan, they were telling the older people, y'all need to have babies. And remember, they told them you could only have 1 or 2 kids. But then what happened? Pow! Now they need laborers to do the work. So guess what? The United States is just not saying it, but that's what they want. Oh yeah. Never thought about it that way. But it just hit me. I was like, why did this? Okay. And this situation, like I said, with Ukraine, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. That Ukraine stuff, now they got a thing on TV right now, do your part and all this other stuff. But they have money. They have these other countries. That's the one thing when, what was that? The You Are the World, We Are the World, that song. Yeah, fighting apartheid in Africa. And they raised so much money, but nothing never changed. So I don't like all these telethons and all this other stuff where they make these, all this money and all this money here and all this money there. Then they don't never get the money. And then there's something about 20 years later. Oh, that's what happened. Wow. No, I'm not donating no money to that situation because I don't like how with the news, they're lying like crazy. They're still saying that Ukraine, because guess what? They're still sending money. A couple of days ago, I saw they send another 80 million. Has anybody been putting together this money that they're sending to them and they're still getting killed every day? They're missiling them every day. People are dying every day, but you're still raising money. So what you're going to build, Putin's going to knock it down. This is not going to end. So why are you raising money to a place that has money? Okay. I need y'all to beware of the news and what the news is doing. They're having these special little talks, to try to comfort you in this time of the major screwing and what I call Bidenomics. They're talking about inflation. They're talking about the price of gas. They're talking about food. And I listened to the first beginning. I was getting ready to turn the station, but I was doing something, and I heard them start talking. And as soon as they started talking, the woman said something about, well, you're having a problem, with inflation and gas. Okay, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then the young man said, well, we still have people that haven't spent their stimulus check, and that didn't put that back into the economy. First of all, shut the hell up. Because you must be talking about rich people. Because I don't know nobody that got no stimulus and didn't use it and didn't have to use it when they got it. Now, I know they said some people that didn't need it got it because it was up to so many 100,000 or whatever below, or whatever the case may be, and they may have got it and did that. But I don't think it was enough for them as it was the people that needed that money to put food on the table to pay the bills, even though the money ran out pretty quickly. I couldn't believe this man said this. Well, they didn't put the money back into the economy, so that didn't help. And people listen to that. Y'all need to be aware of what they are doing. These people are lying to us. They always put this on the news every day. But if you listen and when you check them out, what happens? They're saying the same thing. There's no hope in sight. Oh, you either got a year or two. I don't need you to tell me that every day. Shut the hell up and move on. They're trying to keep you abreast of what's going on, but in actuality, there's nothing changing. There's no, well, they say what, 2022, 2023? So why are you still coming to me talking about, oh, this is going to change and that's going to change, but right now it's not looking, then shut up. You know what I want to hear from you? When it's getting ready to change. Huh? We have to become aware, y'all, of the indoctrination. They do this to indoctrinate us, to make us believe in their lies. That's why in November, guess what? They got you running to the polls in November, and guess what? It makes no difference. She said something on there at Goldie Williams on TikTok. She said that we've been protesting, and this is not just us. And I'm talking about black people. They've been protesting for years, and they are not going to change anything they're doing. They're going to keep doing what they're doing, y'all. And you're going to go to the poll, and guess what? They're going to keep doing what they're doing. If you keep doing the same thing, what's that? You're going to get the same results. If I keep voting, I'm going to keep losing. If I keep voting, I'm going to keep losing. If I keep voting, I'm going to keep losing. But what happens when I stop voting? I'm going to win. You know how? Because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Goldie said something on there that is so true. She said we have to start bartering. We have to stop going to the grocery stores. We go to the butchers. We have to stop putting it back in. Use it for ourselves because, hey, that's what they say. They're paying us for a service, right? So what I do with it is up to me. Stop. I was talking, with my wife the other day, and I said it's crazy how we get these vehicles. We pay all this money for the vehicles per month, but then we never think, you know what? I should just go ahead and get a vehicle, $2,000-$3,000. In the same way that I'm putting money to pay for this, I need to put that money aside to make sure that when the car needs tires, when the car needs an oil change, if the transmission go, if something else go, you understand what I'm saying? We need to stop putting so much of our money back into them because, hey, if we paying rent, they getting us there. If we got a house, they getting us there. I'm in North Carolina. You hear me say this persistently. You have a vehicle, you paying tax on it. We have to understand the indoctrination and how they are doing this to keep using us to push their agenda. Everything is agendas, y'all. We talked about this. Everything's agendas. Democratic and Republican are agendas. That is not for the people. That is for what they want. When did we find that out? When we started finding out, when they were talking about all these billions of dollars to do these stimuluses, and then we start finding out what was it? They wanted to use bear piss to run the big, gigantic rats out of somewhere. We started finding out that a lot of the money when they do these things, it's a lot of their special interest. And that was a lot of money. I don't remember, but it was a lot of money. Because, you can go ahead and you can print it out. They show it to you now. Blatantly telling us, we got the money. We just do dumb stuff with it. How can you say that you have $1 trillion deficit when you're making trillions off of black people alone in this country? Good question. I told you, check this out. I'm not telling y'all no stories. This is truth. They make trillions off of us, but you have $1 trillion. You understand what I'm saying? But you're making that off of us per year, but you're only trillions in deficit? No. Something's wrong there. Something's wrong. Remember what I said, y'all. The people that brought that did the slave ships, insurance-wise and everything, they're still here. So money has been flipped for 200 to 300 years now, or probably more. Because we still talking about slavery and whatever, and then you say 400 years, but it's way longer than that. But guess what? There was insurance, there was things going on, there were bonds, there was money. There, AIG, these other companies, they're still here, and they're still flipping that money. And you're telling me you have a deficit? No. I'm way smarter than this. That's why I told y'all Nick Cannon on YouTube with Professor Griff. And remember, like I said, it's banned. When it says banned, what does that mean? That was all truth, and they don't want you to hear it. Please check that video out. I sent it to my son, and my wife, she looked at it. She was like, what? She didn't look at the rest of it, because I told you it's an hour and something long. All truth, y'all. Questions you may have, guess what? Because Nick asked them, and he answered them. Come on now, talk to me. Now, like I said, y'all, I always say, I end with, mental health. And when I end with mental health, we're going to talk about your job. We're going to talk about your church. We're going to talk about your family. We're going to talk about mental health. Why? Because all of these factors factor into your mental health, your family life, your job life. And if you are going to the building, which that's why I have no problem with that, because they are not indoctrinating me to believe anything like they did from 1980 to 2014 anymore. So I don't have that. A lot of that I still have to take out. You understand what I'm saying? That's a mighty long time. That's 10 years old to 44 years old, y'all. Believing in the building. And that I needed the building to get to God. Come on now. Now, when we talk and when we discuss, like I said, when we talk about mental health, and last week I was talking about, the building, the church, and I'm always do that. But I want to talk about your job. On your job, your job is, where you go. And a lot of times, just like the church, you'll hear them say on the job, I just go do my job and then I go ahead and leave. You don't do it in church, and you also don't do it on your job. I just do what I need to do. That's what you want to do, but that's not what your superior wants you to do. Your superior needs you to have their mindset. Your superior needs you to, when they give you they want you to read between the lines. They don't want to tell you what it is. I have and that I like I said on my job, they know I'm very anti. I see, the people, the employer, like I see the Republicans, because we in a Republican state, and He's like, he'll say something, he'll tell somebody something, and then he wants it to travel instead of saying, okay, boom, this is what needs to be, like if something's happening, something's going on, it'll travel around instead of coming from the horse's mouth. And I always say, I don't want to hear that. I need to hear it from the horse's mouth first. If it's, that's what it is, that's what it is. But I'm not going to go by he say, because there ain't no she say on the job. It's all the fellas. So, when we talk about our mental health, y'all, you got to understand on your job, that's why you hear people just go in there and go crazy. Your job, your employment is a part of your mental health. And you have a right to protect that. You have that right. You understand what I'm saying? To say, man, you know what? I'm not with that. I say things, put it on the record. I don't trust it. Yeah, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And if you repeat it, you repeat it. You don't, you don't. That's up to you. But I don't go to work in fear. I don't do that. That's not that. See, like I said, this is your mental health. I will not go into my place of employment fearful. I won't, because I have options now, because it's too many shorts everywhere. If something happens, I love it that I can go get something else. I'm happy that I'm as healthy as I am at 51 and not broke down and need a new knee or need a new, this or new that. Throwing, steel rings, to hold up these 1,000 pounds of pipe and, these boulders and stuff, we clean up every day. I'm happy about that. So I know that I have options. So there's stuff that I'm just not gonna, deal with. There's stuff that I'm gonna be like, hey, that's what you're saying, whatever. As long as you know I don't agree. That's something you have to do. They don't like that. If I don't agree with what you're doing, I don't like this method that you're using. You're gonna do what you want to do. This is your call. But don't sit here and thinking that, I have your back all the way. No. Not going to do that. Not going to happen. Especially if I'm smart enough to know that what you're doing is backwards. You understand what I'm saying? It's something that that we must understand. The people that are over you, the majority of the time, think that they are better than you. We talked about this last week. And a lot of stuff that we're gonna keep talking about, and we're gonna keep talking about until we get the confidence to know you're not better than me. Stop trying to be. It's not gonna happen. You understand where I'm coming from? We have to get to the point, y'all, that we understand our job has something to do with our mental health. Do you know how I catch myself? Because remember, you hear me say a lot of times, I don't like North Carolinians. I've been here 20 years. Sometimes I am a North Carolinian. And I catch myself and I say, oh, you are such a North Carolinian, you dumb ass. And when I say that, it's maybe something I could have walked straight, but I walked all the way around and I say, oh my God, wow, you idiot. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's something that I stay mindful of. Like, come on, man, stop being a North Carolinian. You're not that. Because you'll find yourself, you're around these people so long, but you have to, this is how you keep your mental health. That's why, somebody says something to me and they said, don't tell nobody. I said, well, let me ask you something. Who you see talking to me? Right. Nobody's talking to me. Why? Because I'm not there. I'm not a North Carolinian. Majority of the time, they are scammers. They're trying to get over, or they're trying to be slick on you. You understand? So the people I mess with, the people I know, you understand? I'm saying, hey, we cool, we good. You know where I'm at. If you pull a North Carolinian move, I'm gonna back off, and more than likely, I ain't gonna mess with you no more. You understand what I'm saying? Our mental health is important in every area of our lives. Very important. In our home, at our job, and if you're sitting in the church, also in the church. And like I told you, that's indoctrination. Because the Bible does not say that if you don't go to church, you're not going to go to heaven. Paul just said, forsake not the gathering. That is a suggestion, not law. Everybody, thank you for joining me today. And like I said, Nick Cannon's masterclass is going to have banned video, which means it's all truth because they banned it. And at Goldie Williams on TikTok, and she's talking about boycotting, the government. And that means stop putting all your money in all the time, consistently, and they keep profiting. Before I leave, and when I talk about that profiting, remember what I told y'all, and this has been some time ago, and I'm going to always visit things, especially when it comes to me. Remember I told y'all there's money in poverty. And you're crazy. You're crazy. Remember what I said, y'all. When they get food stamps, the government gets that back. When they have public housing, the government gets that back. There's nothing that their money that they're giving to the people. And remember what I told y'all before. There are more Caucasian people on public assistance than black people. Still the case. Because why? There are more of them than there are of us. But they put us on the front of everything to sell, and when it comes to bad stuff. Because remember what I said before. I said, why did the first trans cheerleader have to be a black man? For the North Carolina Panthers on top of that. Why did that have to be? Please pay attention. But there's money in poverty. And it's all, and guess what? They make money on every day in every area and every place. But once we stop giving them all this money back, like she said, they're going to come to the table and want to talk. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Thank you for visiting. And thank you for listening. I always ask for your feedback. When you look at them videos, please put comments. If you don't agree with something, please. Because guess what, y'all? We got to start. That's why we agree to disagree. We have to look at everything on every angle. And we're going to have to start. That's the only way we're going to move forward. We're going to have to what? Agree to disagree. But get the job done. God bless. And I want y'all to have the most wonderful week ever. God bless everybody.